Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you all are doing absolutely fine. So today we have with us Kumar. So he is a UX UI designer at an MNC. And he makes content about human behavior and analysis and UX psychology. So how are you, Kumar?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you, Varna?
I'm good.
It's pleasure
So
to meet you.
same here. So, Kumar, how many years have you been working in this field, like this UX field actually?
Uh, yeah, 4.5 years now.
4.5 years. So you started as a UX designer or something else?
Yeah, I have started as a developer, front-end developer. Then
Uh-huh.
I moved on to UX design
Okay,
in a
okay.
year.
Okay, got it. So, as you have mentioned in your socials that you make content and you are specialized in human behavior and analysis. Also, you talk about UX psychology. So, how much do you think UX psychology is important in the whole UX process?
Actually, the psychology mainly to understand how user behaves.
Yeah.
So that helps to make our website or mobile application, whatever we are building or designing,
Mm-hmm.
that is more capable and easy to. Just it's an assumption, right? We can't get all the time users. So the psychology is kind of information
Mm-hmm.
how people react or behave.
Mm-hmm.
So based on that, if we design or give some interactions, that should be even better for the users. So basically, it reduce the cognitive load and how they interact, and if it's fluent, that works. The mostly psychology helps in that way
Hmm.
to understand user better way.
You have talked about cognitive load. So how does like cognitive psychology works when you are designing something like an app or a website sort of a thing?
Yep. So actually, this cognitive is a thoughts, right?
Hmm.
So how often humans process whatever we are showing in front of them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of making decision. So if I'm giving some actions, it has to take in our brain, that is a cognitive. So how much it is processed, how much we can simplify it. So if we know better about those cognitive psychology, it is basically reducing the stress in the brain. So basically now it's we all use shorts and reels. Everyone is common, right? Just swiping up. It is easy to do it. Other than swiping or scrolling into videos, it's continuously loading out. But it is reducing the cognitive load, but it's creating addictions to us. But that is one of the best example I can say. It reduces a lot of load and it keeps us engaging. That matters. That behind is an AI search engine, whatever we are doing behind. If you are interested in something, we are keep showing what you are interested in. So that's all comes in there, but it's mostly to know and how to simplify a process and reduce the thinking, how much time it takes to take a decision. That reducing the seconds is matters there. So that's where it's mostly helps.
So you talked about like Instagram reels and all. So
Yep.
how they're using that cognitive psychology behind that app?
Okay. First thing, once you entered into there, so I hope you also realized after an hour only you notice that oh, it's already been an hour.
Yeah.
That is the one first thing. They
Okay.
keep us engaging, and nowadays we are also getting bit of bored on long videos. I have seen that, but you also have YouTube channels and you can get easily how many views and analytics, right? So I also have small channel and I also can analyze them. So based on that, so now and all algorithms also pushing shorts. The reason it can be easily reached and advertisement is also more and cost effectiveness is also less. These are all business things. But mostly when we keeping that in that mind, so users can keep we can keep them hours of in our app. That is cost, right? How many hours we can keep in active in our page, that matters here. That makes the money, AdSense or whatever revenues we can get. So Instagram have their ads and we have our ads in Google. So how many times we can keep them within the short period of time? If I'm taking you for an hour, that is okay. If I'm taking you for 3 hours, that is awesome, right? So that's where all these thoughts are coming in.
Okay, so cognitive psychology is really important when you're designing an application or something like a digital product.
Yep. Yeah, mostly it's like not in a psychology or cognitive. I always think it in the way users matters more. So if you understand, these are all technical words we can say to attract people's on social media profiles.
Yeah.
To be frank, if I say if you understand the user, And if you solve the problem without any hesitation, if you didn't follow any UX process, also doesn't matter. I see it always in the way if you sort it out and it gives some better solution what they are having currently now. That is much enough. That's what the designers actually do.
Yes. Actually,
That should be fine.
the real
Whatever
problem
it has to be.
solvers.
Yeah. But it is very hard nowadays. Finding a right problem is pretty hard.
Yeah. So, like Kumar, what are some common user behaviors, and then like the designers are often overlooking them, and how can the designers, implement them in their designs? Like, what are the common user behaviors nowadays?
Okay. Behaviors. Now you mentioned it at last nowadays, right? That makes more sense. So, for example, if you make more reels, you will get more views.
Yeah.
In YouTube as well, if you put more shorts, definitely YouTube push shorts better than our long video formats. Especially in this kind of podcasts, it's very long, but it's very informative and it is growing in India. Podcast is growing in India, I would say, not in grown level. But shorts will grow much faster, and we can use the shorts to advertise your channel. That makes most. So that is the first thing. You can find it in one common pattern. Why systems are pushing it? Because most of the people's like shorts. So YouTube already pushing. I hope you also get some notifications to make shorts on this one, that one. So that is the first understanding. So in current scenario, and coming back to common identifications, to be frank, I don't see we can change major stuffs. For example, I'm using phone. It's always going to be in a rectangles. That's it. I'm not going to make it as I hope you know LG Wings or something. They have designed some new phones, and never you thought you put some plugins in down or upside down or something. If you change something drastically, user will get offended. So that's why always try to keep similar websites. Websites always looks in the laptops, so it has to be in a long format. And if you are putting in a phone, that is in a size. So these are all very common ways. Nowadays we can focus on where minor things can update it. That's where we need to find out, and it is very hard. I would say because all systems are already now at least before 10 years. We don't have back 1 decade back, we don't have much websites there. So mostly we have good websites and good platform, and nowadays we have good network as well in India. So this content's all going fast. So if we keep some minor tweaks, keep them engaging, and give some interactions, nowadays we can focus on that much more. So that will keep users engaging and finding common stuffs, behaviors like as I said, one example is shorts, and another example for common behaviors in psychology, I think mostly for what you are doing, and which that's where all this personas comes, right? Depends upon persona, it changes a lot. But we have to think if that works for multiple persona, that even better, because there is always one is a business people and another is a user, right? So yes, a common steps if depends upon persona mostly. If you understand better users and give them what they need for your persona, that should be okay. But if it solves multiple persona, and that is also more effective.
So you mentioned about minor changes, like that's what Instagram is doing nowadays. Like if you have heard about it, there was a feature, add to story feature. So they mentioned it in the share section firstly, and then it was in that kebab menu and all of that. So they were testing that feature to some limited amount of audience.
Yep.
So it was not the mass. So it was a small change, but it was reflected in a small user base.
Because nowadays we need only improvements, and once you what you mentioned is most important. They have said with limited peoples, right? I told you the reason. Most of the time, we all need a business, and business makes money. Then only user designer whatever we get paid, right? So I think the reason behind all this is mostly we made assumptions. Whatever you design interviews done or you make surveys, whatever you have lot, these are all assumptions. Just we can say like Varuna, I'm proposing this one. I hope this is works, but we reduce the impacts as a designer. Like maybe it fails, but we reduce how much it fails, right? 100% we reduce it to 80, that makes better design. So if you reduce it to 50, that is awesome design. So something like that. That's why it's assumption they are trying it if it works or not. They heard any feedbacks in social media. Nowadays, it is easy to get feedbacks. Then, if they don't see any big things, they can flow to all. So even same for everywhere nowadays happening. The small people's they can test. Sometimes it fails as well, backfired as well. That should be okay in a business wise until you try to make them better and it's somewhat safe. It should be okay. But business peoples also don't expect it's going to success all the time. They also had some backlog phases and backlog, so it should be okay. But that is a very good system nowadays growing, and that's all we can do as a designer, right? Actually, Instagram is a billions of people using, so we can't. How many user entries will have to do to predict them all? Humans will always change, so that is the one thing. That's why we are making small changes and testing it for a list people and rolling out.
So, as we're talking about Instagram only, so can you share some examples other than Instagram, like where behavioral psychology is directly impacted to the success of design decisions which designers are taking nowadays,
Yep.
or maybe from the last decade?
So okay, the system grown too much.
Yeah.
Like we after Geo, that's where all these booms came. To be frank, this YouTube boom on.
Yes.
So
Totally.
we get all the good internets as well, right?
Yeah.
So that's where most of the this kind of changes, technological changes also impact in behavior.
Yeah.
So how we use the internet. This is a one very good example. After in few back Geo somewhere in 2017 Geo launched. Before that, most of them are web based. You me all read articles to know more.
Yes.
But now we all consume videos to get better. This is a behavioral change. In future, I don't see most of them reading now because still I can see the social media few of the influencers pushing books. That is a very good thing. But I don't read books recent days, and I don't see my friends also not reading.
I'm not reading either. Yeah.
But if you Googled it, you have a detail and you get some videos of reviews or detailed full length audiobooks are growing up. So this is a one very good example for behavioral change. From web based to now we all move to videos.
Videos. Yeah.
Yeah. In future, I'm not sure, but definitely this AI will the boom. So a lot of people are talking about AI. I can't skip that topic, but definitely may change. But that's why this technology even getting there is a saturation point. I believe mostly we are reached at some saturations in web based and video based. I hope I don't see major changes. I would say in especially in phones. What we do now next, nothing much.
Yes.
So Apple tried a Vision Pro. It's failed drastically, I would say. I think that should be okay. Nowadays, I feel what we are talking about the major change, that video transition is a good one. And I feel it we can consume lot. But what we are consuming is that is a different topic, but that is also have been more concerned there. But we can't change much. There is a saturations we have reached in mobiles. Nowadays, after that, you can't change it. Nowadays, you can see there is a not big changes in phones.
Yeah.
There is a three or four cameras you can add, and you can use it. That's it. Maybe in next Apple series they will move it from right to left or left to right. That's it. They can't change much because it's in saturation point. So that's why they are start trying some different things like VR headsets and classes, Google Class, all. I hope it will come, but for sure not soon. So we have to be on this one. But behavioral change, I would say, is that video to articles to video. That is a good one.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Also, we are talking about like users mainly, like the user-centric approaches we are talking about in UX right now. So, how do you measure like the user satisfaction in a product? Like, what matrix do you use?
Okay. So it depends upon. Yes, I mean product based. We are mostly internal employees in last 3 years. So I have contact of every one of them. So I can directly reach to them if I'm designing some products. I can try directly talk to them. Do you like it or something like that? But major feedbacks always come from stakeholders who wants those products. They have rights to say, and they have a good impacts as well, and they know in and out, and they know why they are bringing in, and they talk to customers regarding that as well. So there is a no
Talk to their
direct
customers,
message.
no?
Yeah, because I create some products, that works, and they have to sell it. But they use my what I'm designing, that platform, to push it, right? At the time, there is some interactions from customers as well to buy it or order it or change some terabytes their platforms in them. So in that case, better thing to see how they behave, and most probably user behaviors are very hard to measure, because when we come to quantitative, it is okay, but qualitatives are
Qualitative
very
is
hard.
very hard, yeah.
So I would say always be in middle, balance with business and as well as user.
Yeah.
But sometimes we have to be rely on users much more, because at the time you and me know, okay, if I do this, there's a thousands of dollar I'm going to spend, etc. But that helps for user even better, then we can push it in that way. If we see few of the customers happy, that is the one measuring point.
Got it.
So how we see them, and you definitely always have to be feedback is I feel one of the better way to measure it. That's what we do, because it's an internal application. We always send a feedback form once every design release. We send a feedback form, and it has a 30 days of time limit. They can fill it and resend it if they have feedbacks, and we find a common points on that one. And if we feel, because it's all keep growing, I'm not. We always didn't say this is the final version. I'm not going here after nothing changes. That like we never pushed it.
Yeah.
We have sent a version 1, then version 1.1 will come with minor change. So that's how all the big Google systems also work, right? You get an Android 14, then 14.1, then 15, 15.1. Something bug fix is always happening.
Exactly.
So yeah, so that's how. But feedback is one of the best way to get a direct on. But in case in e-commerce sites, we have to go to the social media where it is belongs. I am belongs to direct people, so I can talk to them and get the forms. If you are in larger media, for example, as you are talking about Instagram new updates, for that definitely they will get some feedbacks in social media, and maybe they sometimes talk to the big influencers. If you have million followers, they will ask you, do you get any thoughts on it, something like that. So it's how it grow.
So you mentioned about feedbacks. So there's a concept of usability testing also. So after, like, there are like A/B testing. So how does the data from A/B testing, or you can say usability testing, influence your understanding of user psychology, you can say, and the behavior of the whole design, UX design?
Yep. So connecting them all in your psychology is hard, because once I make a decision, so your psychology never directly goes to the people's, because we have to understand them based on what we have read and psychology says. That's how work. But A/B testing or usability testing always comes when I propose some prototypes or some entire applications, right? There I can't see any psychology, but we can see the behavioral analysis if we talk to them directly. Sometimes in olden days, I will directly go to some things when I'm designing some e-commerce websites. I directly go to some saree shops and ask them, is this works for you? At the time, we can notice their behavior, how they're reacting to it. If they are saying surprising, there are all some psychology way of understanding them. But it is just I'm saying, no, we are putting them as words psychology, but it's kind of like empathize the user. If we don't have much psychology, it's very hard. Empathize also we used a lot in UX, so I don't use it. Try to avoid them. Just treat them as your fellows and understand them. That is far enough. Whatever psychology do, and putting you in their shoes is very hard nowadays in online. So that's where this all psychology words are tricky. But just if you put you on their shoes, then if you understand them, whatever usability testing did or A/B testing. A/B testing is most commonly tested for if you have two options.
Yeah.
You design A, and so most probably I don't see much there in psychology way or understanding them. Mostly they choose either A or B.
B, yeah.
That's it. It's very hard. I always suggest them to keep it very small portion of difference. Otherwise, if you give different A and different B, someone likes few things in A, someone likes few things in B, and they want to combine it and create C. But don't go with that one. So just minor change. Some areas, if you can't make some decisions, at the time we can propose A/B testing. Like I don't, maybe just small example. I don't know whether this button works well here or there. in that case it works, but it's a very generalized example. But other than that, A/B testing will not help much, because if you have two proper designs with a very minor change, but it has a huge impact. It has to be. Otherwise, when you go to users and asking them and creating them, coming back, this doesn't make sense. Then just push A first for 1 week, get some feedbacks. If they are not happy, then push the B.
Push the
That's
B,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. So I think for usability testing, it works well with the psychology, but understanding them, this all comes under. Just don't make, I would say, don't put all them together. Just talk to the users, get to them, know them. If they have it, we can sort it out. That's, well, just try to improve the business. Definitely, you will get a better opportunity, and create a story as well. It works very well.
Storytelling works.
Yeah. It's kind of like, if you solve the problem, write it as a story or tell it as a story, whatever. Without any process, if you narrate it well, it has some good starting with high going pick up, then it comes down, then it climax, it go into good ending. That's it. This is a story pattern, right? That works flawless in all cases. Whatever, if you're writing case study or if you're creating some proper design structure, entire board or whatever. So that should be fine. But it is a very hard to master storytelling. Still, I'm also learning about it. But if that works well, most of the cases.
So, Kumar, this is the era of AI. So,
Yeah.
where do you see the intersection of UX and psychology heading in the next few years, particularly with the rise of AI and these personalized experiences?
Yeah. So you have an answer. Personalized experience has the answer. So AI comes mostly because nowadays one big thing I would say that will happen, because that personalized makes more sense when we have AI. AI is a kind of a data. It has a tons of data. The problem is it has existing data. So it can't produce new data without any existing data. That is a big problem there. So if you give A, B, C, D to X, Y, Z, then it will create some words on it. That's how it works. That is a machine. So AI have easy to help you as assist for now, because I can't predict for after next 5 years. For now, I am seeing them as a very good assist, and I have seen and I have talked about it as well, because a lot of people are getting scared about AI. I'm using this time to address it out. It's not going to replace anyone until, for example, maybe I don't see, but I have to check with you as well. Do you know any copywriters? And I hope,
UX copywriters?
yeah, whatever they do it in wordings and stuff.
Like you are talking about the content writer or copywriter?
Yeah, content writer, copywriter,
I
whatever
know.
they were.
I know
Yeah.
two content
So
writers.
after ChatGPT, did they affect it? Because I see it is a very good at it.
Yeah.
That's why a bit scary.
I had a podcast with one content writer, and she
Oh.
said, she said that when you're writing for a company, when you're writing for a MNC, then you know their story, you know the emotion behind that story, you know the emotion behind that brand. So AI cannot generate emotions. AI cannot, AI cannot do that with that thought process, which content writers are doing nowadays.
So here you can see, right? Because it's very close. ChatGPT is very good at writing, and not even can't replace who's writing very good. So if you are very good at in your industry, you can't scare off never time in AI. I don't see it for decades. But that is a one thing putting aside. So coming back to again designs, where all this creates impacts. I hope I'm expecting something in UI soon. I hope you tried UI wizards.
Yeah, I have UI Wizard, and also have you heard about the config event?
Yeah, yes.
So they have introduced these like beta versions first of all in Figma only. So they'll just generate those pre-made UI templates. So I think that's a really good thing. And also there's a tool called Visily AI. So it generates very good.
And they pushed
UIs.
backward as well. Hope you hear that as well. Figma took back their AI, then again put them re-upload, because it's create exact. For example, if I ask calculators, create exact iOS calculator app and created some copyright issues. It became a copyright, right? Because I have designed it and I have the pattern. You can issue it. That's why I always suggest to use, if you have using AI. I use this ideogram. This
Yeah.
is very good at. If
Uh-huh.
you didn't try it out, you can try that one.
Which one?
It is a free ideogram AI.
Ideogram AI. Okay.
Yeah, it is kind of like a DALI, but
Hmm.
it is a free version. It is very good at it.
Hmm.
But I would suggest you can create logo ideations. It is mostly creating different ideas you never thought of. That's where it works because it has the data. You can use it and create your logo, but you have to design it on Illustrator, not use that one because it creates copyright. But you can get that ideations. So in the
Yeah,
similar
it's
way,
just
we
like,
can use it for fun stuffs. For example,
yeah.
posting in online or Instagrams. That should work. But when I come to this works, it is very hard because it's actually initial time everyone is pushing this prompt engineering. It is going
Yeah.
to be in the future. You have to read it and immediately just few AI speaks. It is a AI is better prompt engineer because it can generate lot of words and it can calculate it, and it is new if you are studying it. Prompt engineering is new to us.
How long will it take to learn prompt engineering?
I think it can maybe for within 3 to 4 months, anything we can learn. But I think it's not a necessary nowadays. For now, there is a no need.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I can say it in this much hall because initial times, once ChatGPT came in, there is a once this prompt, there is a one tab to chat, right? Everyone is asking, can we read prompt engineering? Can we do the prompts? How to do it? Those videos are become hype. Then this ChatGPT 4 came in.
Mm-hmm.
It has a very good prompts nowadays, and we
Yeah.
can't beat it. If you buy their versions, it has better things. And if you use plugins from ChatGPT, there is some special plugins for it. Then it is given even better
Does it come with a
results.
subscription?
Yeah, plugins are is a paid one.
Got it.
So I think, but we have better options now. I think for codings we can use Blackbox. That
Black
is one
box,
of
yeah.
AI. Yeah, that gives a
I think
better
there's
results for coding.
Rosebud also, Rosebud and Magic AI, Magic UI or AI. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
And
something like that.
for better questions, we can always go to Perplexity. It is based on ChatGPT and built tuned one. That is also good.
Nice, nice. So, if somebody let's take your example, Kumar. You're a self-taught designer, and
Yep.
if somebody is starting with UX, then like how should they approach towards UX,
Okay.
towards learning
So
UX actually.
it's been now changed a lot. To be frank, first when I started, I have to learn some tools. That's where it's all starts. I know Photoshop here and there, so I'm helping my developers to help they are not able to display some parts, so I help them to design and recreate, crop few images from online and put it here and there and show this is how it's going to work. That's where my UX design journey started. Somehow my founder know there is some UX field. Then he helped me. Okay, you are better at this. You can try this one. Then I moved it to Figma. This or all. So now learning Figma is a basic one. It takes just a week because Figma is a very easy tool compared to Photoshop. It's
Yes.
nothing much. Just you can do whatever. And the major change I have seen is you don't need any very good laptop. If it works
Yeah.
very good at a browser, then you are good at it.
Yes. Yes.
That's
Yes.
easy. So that's where the first thing, learn some tools, then jump into UX. There is a lot of principles, laws, all that. So I would say theory. Take a theory lesson for a few weeks on YouTube. YouTube have everything nowadays.
Yes.
You can go through end to end. For learning Figma, you can go to Figma YouTube channel itself. That is a very good at it. Then learning for UX topics, it is very hard to find particular order. That is a big problem in
Yes.
YouTube, I would say. So, but there is a few people because it's been 5, 6, 7 years nowadays. YouTube has grown very well. So, if you put full course, you will get 3 hours course, 5 hours course. Try 3, 4, and you can get better at understanding. And I can say all regional languages also nowadays we have.
Yeah.
So try that and better. That's a good start. I have one more suggestion as well. If you are coming to UX, just see if you are literally like to come into UX or there's some sideways thought on it. Nowadays, people are saying, my friends are also asking, I have a lot of friends in developers. They are saying, oh, you don't even need to code, so you are being happy, something like that. But my perspective, the reason I jumped into UX is I like to talk people. I open and I always go and say, What you're doing and how is your work. I don't know what they're doing, but I always ask and bit curious and like to people. That is a one major thing. That's why I'm
Exactly.
keep not jumping multiple companies, because nowadays I have a very good opportunity to talk to my entire 4,000 employees are there. I have a freedom to talk to everyone to regarding any application. That is a very good option. So that is the reason I am there. So somehow, if people have some visions on UX, if you satisfying on that one, then comment. Just don't come in for testing or designing for no code, because there is a lot of things to do without a no code.
Yeah.
No code platforms are going. I can see that if AI comes up soon, so no code platforms even getting better. So try Framer for that, or I use
Wix.
Framer a lot. Yeah, Wix is also works well.
Yes, yes, yes,
So
exactly.
maybe that is the one. But starting UX in nowadays, it is. But I would say the market is also low. If you are already looking for a job, if someone seeing this video, so don't go down. It's okay. And always this IT happens like this, goes up and down, sine wave form.
Yeah.
So it will come up soon, but I'm not sure when. Until US reduce this interest rates, we don't get much fundings. So I think you guys have to stick together for some time and go and
Yes.
start up if you can. You can
Hmm.
learn a lot.
Yeah, startups are the major, major like places to learn. Like
Because yeah,
they're really good. You get to learn a lot of things, and also you get to wear a lot of caps.
true.
In UX only, in the field of UX
Yeah,
only,
yeah,
you'll be a UI designer, you'll be a UX writer, you'll be a UX designer, you'll be a UX
that have to
researcher.
do.
Yeah,
So we
so
can get all the basic stuffs there. Once you
yeah,
know everything, you can select any one field within UX, because
exactly.
UX is a very long
Yeah,
and very wide field.
true, true.
So they can select it. But startups are a very good place to learn. If you didn't get the opportunity, I'm saying not going for MNC because it's saver side. But if you didn't get, definitely give a shout out to startups, and because they are also struggling to hire some design. So you can help them for the business. If they grow, you will also grow. That is the
Exactly.
best thing in startup.
Exactly.
You can grow in 10x
Yes, and you can
if you did a very good
also
job.
you can get a very good promotion in
Yeah,
startups actually. Like you
true.
can be the design head, you can be the UX head or of the company. You can say art director and all of that.
Yeah,
So you can,
but role doesn't matter. If you learn so
yeah,
much, that's fine.
exactly. So Kumar, like, what were the problems which you faced during your self-taught process when you were learning UX?
So I don't see them as a problems,
Hmm.
but because I have grown with the company.
Hmm.
I have started as a developer,
Yeah.
then front end developer. Then I have helping them in a Photoshop plus logo designing. Also, I have done because I have a bit knowledge in graphics design of editing
Yeah.
and as well as stuffs. So I just started in that way. Then luckily my next founder of that company helped me to know this UX field. Then I started in YouTube, and as it's a startup, I'm only single designer there. So I can try anything. So that's freedom I have. If it fails, no one ask me. Just be careful because we are wasting time on that screens.
Hmm.
So they have, if I deliver what they need, then I can try whatever I want. So that freedom I have, so I can learn. But for now, if I'm starting, I would say what is the difficulty? It's improved a lot, right? We have now a lot of content creators, so you
Hmm.
can get very good contents in YouTube, and you can learn. And nowadays we can learn anything in YouTube,
Yes.
anything
True.
without a degree. But a degree is for professionals. You can keep it far side. But
Exactly.
yeah, I also have engineering degree, so I can keep about mostly how real life is.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Actually.
once you come out of college, then
Yeah.
only we know, most of the peoples know
Yeah.
how the reality is. So it
Yeah.
will very hard. So even if I come just out of school without any, so I don't recommend to do that as well. Just I'm saying you can learn anything. It is a freedom now we have, but just college is mandatory because you can know the networking.
Yeah.
That is where all this builds, right? Because now imagine you after a few times you are learning something related to UX and UX college itself. So your friends all in UX field. So if you run out of something or if you don't have a job, you just call your friends and they will refer you for sure.
Exactly.
But you can't get that in YouTube, right?
Exactly.
That's where that stands.
You can't develop a network
No, it is
here.
not possible because you spend 4 years with them.
Exactly.
They support you.
Yes. True. So, my last question to you, Kumar, would be like, where do you see UX in next 10 years? I always ask this question.
Yeah, I'm also curious about it. And predicting for a decade is very hard. But I would for sure address here within next 3 years. In case, and now I'm starting to thinking about voice user interface. I'm just
Yeah.
trying on that area. Just learning it, and I'm just seeing few YouTube videos. That's it. I don't have any real time experience, to be frank. But it is very hard to do the designing for them because we don't have any stuffs there, right? If you talk to Alexa, that is VUI, but Alexa can replay it. But how it's replay it, how it behaves it, this all works.
It is
Nowadays,
basically
that's
for the
why,
people. It is basically for the people who can't see and who can't hear.
it's not about that. But even sometimes I don't want to use my phone. Yeah, you are sitting there and you want to say, "Hey Alexa, play the song." That is a simple example now we are using it. But in future, we can ask few questions. Imagine if you integrated with ChatGPT, you can ask, teach me few things. It can easily teach you and assist you. That is the one thing I'm saying, but it's not grown and used everywhere. Second thing, robotics. So robotics will grow pretty fast in next decade in technology. As a designer, we have to be aware of all the areas because we don't know where we landed up. Something like, I hope robotics will grow but even faster once this AI acceleration starts. Nowadays, I have seen this AI chips have started. NUI. Hope you aware of that. So with that, without a cloud, we can use AIs. So maybe I see that there are some needs of user interfaces, but I can't predict for 10 years. I would say for next 5 years, I would say the personalization is a very good option if you use AI. So in current situations, for example, phones and websites. For example, if you are creating some application, it should be different UI and different look for you because you likes or pink or red whatever. If I theme everything for you, you feel very good, right? It's completely, it's kind of a Google. If you go to Google landing page, but it's definitely customized only for you. It looks different for someone else.
Someone else.
How it looks, it makes you happy because you have the data, it changes. So something like that I can say. And next one, I can't skip this one because ritual interface is pretty hard. I'm looking for it. So, and creating separate world. So there's a ton of designers we needed. Graphics designs, 3D animators.
I was watching this video of AB UX, AB and UX. So he mentioned that AR, like the augmented reality plus virtual reality, these things will come up in future, and we'll need more designers, more UX designers for them as
Yeah,
well.
yes,
So I think there's a lot
true.
of scope. UX will not only limited to apps, designing apps and websites.
Yeah,
It will go further, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that is the one. And the augmented reality is takes some time.
Yeah.
To be frank, it takes because you have to involve in that place. That's where AI stands. But we are soon we will get. But it is very hard to put users there. That's where all this MNCs are sticking their head. I would say Meta is working on Oculus, and they have recently three Oculus 3 and Vision Pro. But to be frank, keeping you within that new world is hard, and if you make them affordable, I don't see much there. So I think UX design will mostly in this areas, but we have to sort out lot still.
That was the podcast, Kumar.
Yeah,
I had a
thank you
lot
so
of
much.
fun,
Yeah,
seriously, talking to
I
you.
hope it is very useful for everyone,
It
and I
will
also
be.
like it, and I have learned. And thanks for networking as well.
It is, yeah. So I'm hoping to see you in any other podcast, Kumar. So
Yeah, sure.
yeah. So bye bye, guys. And anything you would like to share, Kumar? Any other thing?
Other than that, nothing much.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. Have a nice day for everyone who is
You're
watching
welcome.
this. Okay, take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye, guys, and bye bye, Kumar.
Bye.
Bye.